What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is that time. Season 10 comes out tomorrow. If you are watching this video live on the day it does launch, as we do every season, we are going to do my updated Apex Legends Season 10 best settings. These are the settings that I have been using for the past few weeks and the past few months, but I've also had a ton of changes since last season, so I do think you're going to watch this in its entirety. I have gone through a lot of iterations. I have finally implemented ALC or advanced look controls into my settings. I do think you'll want to check out that. Generally with my settings videos, I do break down everything line by line. However, this time I'm going to be a little bit quicker. I am just going to point out very important stuff to you. I don't really think I need to reiterate stuff that I have said in the past. I'm just going to try to get you this information as fast as possible, and I do hope you enjoy the video. Hit that like button if you do enjoy the video, and I do appreciate your support. Interact prop style, I do default button hits, I do on, crosshair, damage feedback, I do off. Basically, I like to turn off the crosshairs because I don't find it necessary to show the kind of X around the enemies. I just find it clutters up the screen a little bit. I like to have it clean. I can already get the feedback that I'm doing damage by having the damage numbers on, which brings me to the damage numbers stacking. Ping capacity faded. I don't like it blocking. Obviously, obituaries on. Minimap rotation for me, I like to have it off. I like to always have north be up on my minimap. I don't like to have it rotate around. Just my personal preference. Weapon auto cycle on empty, I leave off. Auto sprint, I have off. Double tap, I do have off. If I go back to auto sprint briefly, I will say if you are worried about your controller breaking, I would actually turn that on. If you don't want stick drift or that kind of thing, having it on is okay. I like to have it off because I do play quite a few shooter games. Not every shooter game has that. Jetpack, this is for Valkyrie. I have hold. Incoming damage feedback, I have 3D. Taking damage closes death box or crafting menu. I have this as off. If I'm in a box looting, I do not want to get bopped out if I am trying to get that armor swap at the last moment. So I do highly recommend you have this as off. This is one of the biggest things out of the gameplay tab that I can recommend to you. From there, we have hop up, pop up. I just have that on. I just, I don't really care, honestly. Streamer mode, I have off. I'm not a crazy big streamer. Maybe you are. Turn that on if you want to. Anonymous mode, I have disabled. Usage sharing, I have enabled. This just sends data to EA. I honestly don't care. They can get data anyway. Performance display, I do off. You can turn this on if you want to see your network stats, your FPS, that kind of thing. Club invites, I have disabled. Colorblind mode, I used to use Tritanopia. This is a change from last season. I don't know, they did something with the Tritanopia during the, I think maybe mid-season update. I just don't really like it anymore, so I've just been using the default. Maybe I'll go back, but that is what it is for now. Subtitles off, subtitle size normal, chat features off, and convert, I have off as well. Controller tab, we go to button layout. I use button puncher instead of default. Basically, if I do button puncher, I'm not accidentally mailing if I click in that right stick. I used to do this all the time. I hold my controllers pretty tight, and honestly, I tense up in fights a little bit. So I do that. It just prevents me from doing that. Also, I like spamming the right stick to crouch, and honestly, I would recommend it. I do have paddles, so I can jump and crouch in the back with my controller. If you do not have paddles, I would actually recommend probably bumper jumper, or maybe something like Evolved, I think it is. Yeah, Evolved has basically right stick crouch and left bumper as jump. That way you can always be aiming and jumping and do all that stuff. So it's up to you. If you don't have paddles, you can also do customized, but my recommendation is going to be button puncher or Evolved. From there, we got stick layout. I do default. Interact reload button, I have tap to use and reload. Crouch button, I have hold. Basically, I have hold as crouch, so I can bunny hop a little bit easier for me, at least. You can do a toggle, I believe, but I don't really know how to do it. So I just do hold for the crouch, so I can bunny hop. Aim, hold, survival on. Trigger dead zones, I have default. This is up to you. If you want to be able to, tap the trigger a little bit faster, you could increase that. Doesn't really matter to me. Menu speed, I leave this right in the middle. You do not want it to be too low to the point where it's too slow looting and all that stuff. And you don't want it to be too high to the point where you can't control it. So I leave it right in the middle. For me, I think it works pretty well. Movement and aiming is all controlled by my ALC settings. I'm just going to kind of breeze by that for a minute. Movement dead zone, I have as small. If you have a lot of stick drift, you could do large. I leave it as small. It's not a problem for me. Inverted look off. Vibration off. I've always turned vibration off of my controllers. I feel like it helps me aim a little better if my controller isn't shaking my hands. I think it's true. It's up to you, though. If you want that feedback, you can leave it on. Moving on to my advanced look controls, I believe I copied, I think it was Nicewig settings. I'm pretty sure he is the kind of like gold standard for ALC settings right now. I did have adjusted it a little bit, so if you want my specific, here you go. Dead zone, 11%. I had to raise this up a little bit. I had a little bit of stick drift when it was a little bit lower. Outer threshold, I leave all the way down. Response curve at 7. Per optic settings, I have off right now. I do need to get into this. I used to have this. I'm not really, too into it right now. It doesn't really matter to me. I do think you should go through this and really figure it out, as you can really change up the way some of the guns work because of ALC and the way it works. Moving down, yaw speed, I have quite a bit. Pitch speed, I have 280, a little bit less. This is basically just how fast I'm turning left and right, and this is basically how fast I'm going up and down. You obviously want to be tracking left and right a little bit more rapidly than you do up and down. Also, if you leave up and down not as high, it actually does help a little bit with controlling the recoil. Extra yaw, extra pitch, ramp up time, ramp up delay. These are all regarding basically when you start moving. If you want to go faster, the more you hold it, it will go a little bit faster. So I leave all these down. I don't want to have any kind of randomness or exponential, movement in my aiming and that kind of stuff. ADS yaw speed, I leave 110. ADS pitch, I have 92. And ADS turning and ADS turning extra pitch, this is pretty much the same as the ones up the top, which actually the ones up top is actually looking back and forth, left and right. And then the ones down bottom are actually when you're aiming down sights. Target compensation I have on, melee target compensation I have on, target compensation I have default. I just left these as they were. And then basically, guys, for why you may want to use ALC, I'll just go over it really quick. And the way I understand it, I'm not too into settings, really. I'm not a big settings person. I don't really think the settings matter that much in terms of your overall performance in game. But basically, by doing this, I can fine tune the way I want the game to work for me. I find that this does help me control recoil a little bit, not that much. I don't notice a huge difference, but my movement is just way more fluid. I don't have any acceleration when I'm looking left or right like I would on the default settings. Same thing with aiming down sights, which is nice. Overall, I do find that helps out a little bit. I don't really notice a huge performance boost. I've been using this for about a month now, but I'm going to keep tweaking it little by little. I don't want to do massive setting changes because I don't think that's good to do. This was definitely the biggest change I've had in a long time. So if you want it, check it out. Moving on from that, we're going to go to video. Brightness, that's up to you and your monitor. I leave in the middle. Field of view, I do 104. It's what I've always done for all my games. I don't know why. Field of view scaling, I just leave as enabled, and sprint shake, I leave at minimal. I don't want my screen shaking around. Audio, that's really up to you. I have some specific settings, and that's basically it, guys, for my season 10 settings. If anything changes in the middle of the season, I'll drop a comment down below. If there's any new settings that are added to the game, because I am posting this video a day before the season comes out, I will also list them in a pinned comment down below. They pretty much never really, massively overhaul the settings. If that does happen, I will release a new video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you're using ALC. I find it helps a little bit again, but I don't really think it matters in the end. It's really all about getting used to your settings and catering to your individual needs. I hope this video was helpful. I try to get through this a little bit faster than normal. I don't really think we need to do a 15-minute settings video on stuff that barely changes from season to season. But that's just me, guys. I do appreciate your support. Again, stay tuned to the channel. We have a ton of content this coming week. It's very exciting. Season 10, I can't believe we've been in now double digits of Apex Legends seasons. Also, thank you for 60K. This happened this past weekend. Thank you so much for the support on the channel, guys. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.